between the big green of Dartmouth and your engineers of Rensselaer. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, the visitors from Dartmouth. Starting in goal number 30, Charles Grant. And left defense number 7, Rick Vincent. And right defense number 24, Andy Simpson. The starting forward line for Dartmouth and left wing number 15, Brandon McNally. At center, number 11, Eric Neely. And at right wing for Dartmouth, number 14, Grant Opperman. The rest of the Dartmouth Big Green, their head coach is Bob Barnett. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for the engineers of RPI. Leading your engineers on the ice tonight, the junior engineer number 14, Emma McLean. Starting in the goal, the junior from Buffalo, New York, number 34, Scott DeVoe. And left defense, the senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 3, Guy Love. And right defense, the junior from Beverly, Ontario, number 10, Curtis Leonard. The starting forward for the Engineers, at left wing, a senior from Kingston, Ontario, number 22, Wilfrey Brackett. At center for the Engineers, a sophomore from New Hartford, New York, number 19, Mike Zaleski. And at right wing, a junior from Stamford, Connecticut, number 39, Orion Haggerty. The rest of the Engineers, their head coach is Seth Everett. The assistant coaches are Brian Vines, Nolan Graham, and Kurt McDonald. Now we ask that you please rise for the playing of the national anthems of Canada and the United States of America.
contact us at WRPI-sports at RPI.edu.
20 minutes just went up on the big board here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Just a reminder, you are listening to WRPI Troy with Engineer Hockey from the Houston Fieldhouse. Kurt Stutz, Tom Reel on the call for you. Dartmouth in their road green will be skating left to right across your radio dial in period number 1. RPI in their home whites will be skating right to left. RPI comes in under head coach Seth Appert, 15, 14, and 6 overall, 8, 9, and 5 in the ECAC. They were the 7th place team. Bob Gaudette coaches the Dartmouth Big Green. They're 8, 18, and 4 overall, 7, 13, and 2 in the ECAC, tied for 10th, won the 10th place seed on the tiebreaker. The officials for tonight's game, Harry Dumas and Scott Whittemore are the referees. Dan Taggart and David Brown are the linesmen. Neely against Zaleski for the center ice draw, won by the Engineers. Back to LaBeouf at his blue line. Leonard has it on the other side of the ice to Zaleski, to Haggerty. Haggerty's into the zone. Zaleski tips it and goes through the top of the crease over to the near ice side. Higgs takes the puck, sends it back behind the net. Far ice corner, RPI. Leonard coming in from the defensive position at the point. Couldn't get the puck battle won, and it goes past Haggerty at the point into the RPI zone. Engineers able to race back and get there first. LaBeouf has it up ahead, and Higgs had it near the blue line, but RPI was offsides on that play somehow.
Well, the first 30 seconds of this game go to the Engineers. They win the opening faceoff and then head right down ice and got himself a quality scoring opportunity within the first few ticks of this game. You can see the faceoff come all the way back down into the RPI zone. Okay. 19:29 left in the first period, no score.
Pass was from the RPI zone.
That's right.
So the offsides have to go back to the faceoff to the left of Diebold. Tied up in the circle, kick back out to the blue line. Shot saved by Diebold. Hartley with the shot. Beamish was racing towards the net.
That's what you want to do. No matter what time of year it is, you want to make sure you're there to pick up rebounds, but that shot went directly into the glove of Scott Diebold.
Secure on the faceoff. Can't win it for Dartmouth in the offensive zone. Miller with that victory. Engineers, Schrader, cross-ice pass, neutral zone. McGowan gets the red line, sends the puck into the near corner. Dartmouth, they get back there first, up to the half boards. Nice pass to the face-off circle. Secura gets it out of the zone to Beamish. Beamish crosses the blue line, takes a shot. Diebold with the save, and again, no rebound.
I think Beamish was a little bit too quick to take that shot. He had a sort of 3-on-2 coming into that zone. The RPI forwards were just a touch behind that play. So up along the near boards, Beamish probably could have done a little bit more with it, either flip the pass or move closer to the net. But chose to be there to be safe.
Dartmouth wins the faceoff. Shot by Simpson, tipped and then saved at the pad by Diebold. Dartmouth getting the better offensive chances early in this game. Dartmouth needs to win or the season ends. Puck back and forth along the near board in the RPI zone. Finally cleared out by the Engineers in front of the Dartmouth bench, but the Big Green force it back the other way. Engineers with possession. Karardi, near ice side, just gets it up across the blue line with the help of Fulton. But now back to the Engineer D. Near side, Fulton in the neutral zone. Takes it in. Higgs takes a shot, and that save. Rogic, shot at saved by Grant, and things getting a little rough in front of the Dartmouth crease afterwards.
That scoring opportunity was generated by Travis Fulton. Managed to find Johnny Rogic between two defenders. Flipped the puck right between them. Had Rogic a little bit of ice, skated in. Charles Grant equal to the task. Face-off will come up to his right.
La Liberté on the faceoff. Wins it for RPI. LaBeouf's shot, it looked like it actually might have hit Neal on the way in. It was right in front of that. Goes off the glass to the far corner. No score here. 18:15 to go in period number 1 in Troy. Puck near ice side. Towards the half boards. Dartmouth having trouble clearing. Can't get it out. It's at the referee's crease near the blue line. Now it's taken out. Lovejoy heading down ice. Dempsey's going down with him. Lovejoy takes a shot. Saved by Diebold. Sticks it to the far ice boards. Rubella has it for RPI. Cross-ice pass, Neal. Blue line, Rubella loses the puck in the neutral zone. Neely has it. Neely to Bolt. Cross-ice to Pinkston. Neutral zone. Went off a skate as Dartmouth was trying to take a line change and turned over to the Engineers. Leonard dumps the puck in as he goes off for a change. Pinkston has it for Dartmouth on the far side. In front of the Dartmouth bench once more. It gets tied up there. just out of our view. Taken by the big green. Somebody lost a stick. That's an engineer. Opperman towards the net. Saved by Diebold. Loose and in. It goes in. Diebold made the initial save. It went to his right. I don't know how it got forced into the net, but Dartmouth leads 1-0.
That's some just lax defense in front of the net by the Engineers, as I think part of that was caused by Haggerty losing his stick and having to go to the bench. It provided an odd man opportunity for Dartmouth. The puck just kind of, after Diebold made the initial save, just kind of bounced up off of his blocker and right to the Dartmouth player. And it's like they're going to check and see if this is potentially kicked in. I'm not certain, but it's being reviewed.
Right when we were going to get the overhead view, they took it away from us on the scoreboard. I couldn't tell, looking at that 4 times, how it went into the net.
That was my thought exactly. At first, the first instinct that I had was to look at the referee and see if he was waving it off. Initially, he pointed at the goal. It's not a question of whether the puck was in. It was well into the net. The question now is how it got there. The puck bounced over to, who was that, Beamish? Whoever the Dartmouth player was that was crashing the net at the time, bounced directly to him off of Diebold's blocker as he kind of reached out to punch it away.
But there was also an RPI player right in front of him. It could have gone off an Engineer.
Very true. We'll have to see exactly what the call is. We're not being given any opportunity to look at it ourselves, but both referees are currently in the box taking a look at it themselves.
And again, that's Harry Dumas and Scott Whittemore, the referees for today's game. We have a view of them watching the replay. We don't have the replay, but I can watch them watching the replay.
Well, that's not a replay. That's a live shot of them watching the replay.
Yes, yes. So I'm getting a live shot of the officials watching the replay and then talking to people over the radio. And I can't tell anything about what's going on down there. So
the whole thing really was generated by the fact that Haggerty not only lost his stick, it went sliding all the way across the ice back towards the RPI bench from where he lost it along the Dartmouth bench. So realistically, you have a guy in the neutral zone who can't contribute to the play and can't get off the ice relatively quickly. That allowed Dartmouth the opportunity to have the odd man opportunity in the RPI. Certainly taking their time looking.
They're still looking at this.
Certainly the longer the time goes by, the more of a likelihood that Dartmouth is going to be credited with the goal, since they won't overturn it unless there's some solid evidence. And the ruling on the ice was that it was a goal.
I'm thinking the same thing as well. They're probably looking like we looked on the multiple replays, trying to see how it actually went into the net. And like last night when a play was reviewed, I don't think it was in frame of the overhead camera when it was actually touched. In which case, they're looking at the same side angles we saw, and I couldn't tell off that how the puck got into the net.
It's at the same end of the ice as the Liberté goal last night. It's actually on the same side of the net that the player was crashing for the rebound. So, very similar play. Last night it was allowed to stand for the Engineers. So we'll see if this is in that same vein.
The excitement of instant replay, for all of you who wanted this for baseball, is coming this year. This is what it's going to be like.
Except if you're watching on TV, you probably get to see it 700 times like in the NFL.
Yes. You'll get to see it a lot. On the radio, we really can't provide you with those kind of views.
And they're not providing them for anyone here, so we can't describe what we're seeing either, unfortunately.
They are still down there looking at this. It can't be punched in, and it can't be kicked in.
Right. The only punching that really seemed to take place was from Scott Diebold, who was trying to blocker it away.
The other advantage Dartmouth has here is that they are wearing dark green predominantly, so trying to find a black puck up against dark green on a replay may be difficult.
I'm not sure how high quality the overhead camera is either. It's probably not.
It looks pretty good. But again, I don't think it was in frame.
I don't think it's a high definition camera, to be quite honest with you. It's not exactly right next to the play either, so we'll have to see exactly what the ruling is. Again, the longer this goes on, the more you have to think they're probably just going to allow the original ruling to stand.
The officials are coming out right now. We're waiting. No goal!
Okay, well.
No goal, and they're heading. Dumas is heading right over to Bob Gaudette to talk about this one. Let's see if we can. They announced no goal. Al Shipley, the PA announcer, said no goal, but didn't explain why. And now Bob Gaudette's getting a lengthy explanation. Punch. They're going to say he punched it in. It looks like that's what the call is. Dumas held a fist and moved his arm, and he's kind of showing that he thinks the player knocked it in with his hand.
You know, when you said punch, and you're right after talking about the referees talking to the coach, you know, we got a little jumpy there. We have you and I have a little bit of a history of coaches and punching recently, so.
Yes.
That can't possibly be what happened, but. Contact with the goaltender?
Goaltender with the goaltender? By whom?
That I didn't see at all, but if that would at least be in keeping with some other goals that have been disallowed this year.
So we're back to nothing. With 17-19 to go in the first. There's still Scott Whittemore now is talking to Bob Gaudette about this. Clearly he's not happy with this, and I'm a little puzzled by it myself, but we're back to action. No score here. First period, RPI versus Dartmouth in Game 2. Engineers win the faceoff off Zaleski in the neutral zone down into the Dartmouth zone. Kind of got out of the flow of play here with all that time waiting for a replay. Dartmouth gets the puck in their own zone, and they'll get it out of there. McNally on the far side to Hartley. He dumps the puck in. Dartmouth can't get possession behind the net. Puck goes near corner, far corner, back to near corner. Up ahead, RPI slow playing the puck. Big Green have it. Neely down low, loose towards the side of the net, and covered. Nope, not covered by Diebold. He couldn't cover it, lost his stick. The Big Green not helping him get it back as they kicked it away from him. And now the puck goes into the neutral zone as RPI escapes that damage. So Diebold was never able to cover the puck, lost his stick, but I'm not sure if there was a shot on goal or not. 6-1, Dartmouth leads shots on goal right now. First period, about 3 minutes and 40 seconds into today's game, no score. Engineers tip it into the neutral zone, a little bit too much oomph on that, and Miller couldn't get to it. Dartmouth cleared, back to Bokenfor. Near side, Karate, neutral zone. Schrader brings the puck across on the far side. Broken up by the Big Green. Get the puck into the neutral zone. Mosi had it. Has a poke checked away. Puck goes in front of the RPI bench. Bolt dumps it into the zone. Off an Engineer Karate. Shot goes right into Bokenfor. Engineers finally clear it out. They get it up to Schrader, right wing side. Schrader gets crunched along the boards. Dartmouth racing in, trying to get to the puck. They seem to have more energy right now than RPI, and there's probably some frustration energy from Dartmouth not being up 1-0 at this point. Mosi touches the puck in the neutral zone, but then doesn't follow up on that. The Engineers dump it in. They'll switch all 5. 15.5 to go. Period number 1. No score here in Troy. Blue line, Bolt falls down and somehow has the puck underneath him, and it goes towards the blue line to Dolan. He thought he had lost the puck. It was actually in his legs. Engineers turn it over in the neutral zone when they had a chance to do something. Here comes Simpson. Shot saved by Diebold, loose to the side of the net. Simpson tries to center it, but it goes off an Engineer over to the far right side. Engineers clear. Back to the neutral zone. Pinkston retreats to his zone with the puck. Simpson has the puck at his blue line. Off the boards. Towards the RPI blue line, intercepted by the Engineers. Rogic brings the puck into the zone. Rogic face-off circle towards the net. It got blocked in front. I think it went off Pinkston. It didn't go off Grant. And Dartmouth has it. Blue line, up ahead. Dartmouth, O'Brien pretty much collides with Shearhorn, and that causes them to have trouble moving into the zone. They'll just dump it in and take a change. Engineers will libertate near half boards. Sends the puck behind the net. 7-1, Dartmouth leads in shots, but still no score over 5 minutes gone by. Leonard, neutral zone to La Liberté. Crosses the blue line. Liberté tries a move, hits off a Dartmouth stick off his shot, and it goes into the netting. Play stops.
RPI would do well to pick up their intensity level here. They've been completely in disarray defensively in front of Scott Diebold, who has bailed out his team on at least 2 or 3 occasions at this point. We have situations where Dartmouth is slipping 2 guys behind the defense with the puck already in the zone and creating scoring opportunities like that. That's just not playing physical hockey if they need to be playing.
RPI won the faceoff and went back to LaBeouf, but then the Engineers lose it in the far corner. Dartmouth breaking out quickly. Hartley crosses the blue line, loses the puck. LaBeouf got in the way, but Dartmouth follows up. They tried to send it down ice. It goes right to Pabella. He'll move the puck out, crosses the blue line, tipped in the neutral zone, goes to Neal at the point. Now Dartmouth has it. Nickerson along his blue line. Far side for Simpson. He crosses. Simpson fans on the shot. goes behind the net. Simpson tries to feed it out front. Diebold couldn't cover. Puck goes behind the net. Now, Big Green try to move it to Diebold's right. Couldn't. Puck's behind the net. Penalty coming up against RPI. Karardi's going off as he hit Nickerson, and Dartmouth gets the first power play of the game.
Well, I think if you ask Luke Karate, he'd probably tell you he was just finishing his check, but the puck was out of the area by the time he got over to Nickerson. So, going to be an interference call behind the RPI net. And we will have the first power play of the game going to the Big Green, whose power play wasn't all that great last night, but if you extrapolate from the energy and the physicality that they've shown so far here tonight, it's going to be a dangerous spot for the Engineers.
Dartmouth wins the face-off to the far point, around to the near side. Engineers can't clear. Opperman has it near point. Leaves it back. Now it's poked out of the zone. Engineers, though, can't get back to it in time. Can't get a break. Dartmouth on the power play. No score, 13 and a half to go here in the first. About a minute 40 left in the power play. Opperman near side, crosses the blue line, sends it in. Kneeling in near corner, tries to get to the puck, but it gets cleared into the crowd. Was that off a tip? Yep, they're going to say it's off a tip. Face-off should come outside the zone. Nope, now are they discussing that? No, now it's going to be in the zone.
Let's see. Are they going to take a vote, potentially? I mean, there's 4 guys out there. I think that they're all discussing it. So they're still discussing it.
The officials are still talking about this one. Seth Apper leaning over. He wants it outside the zone, so the officials will have another discussion.
It's like staying in the zone.
It'll stay in the zone. I thought it was deflected. 1:36 to go in this power play for Dartmouth. 13:20 to go in the first. No score. Puck stays on the circle. Shot! Diebold saves it off the shoulder as McNally got it in the circle. Was able to take a shot. Another shot goes off the side of the net. That one came from Opperman. Dartmouth, long half forwards back. Oops, almost out. Kept in by the Big Green. They'll send it cross ice to the far side. Neely sends it near side. Shot. That was from Shearhorn. Goes high and over the net. Puck dumped into the near corner. Engineers can't clear it out. Sikora keeps it in at the blue line. Simpson tries to take a shot. Hits an Engineer. Now a score as it deflects to Neely. He puts it in. This time Dartmouth leads 1-0.
Well, that was pretty much always going to happen the way Dartmouth was dominating possession there in the RPI zone. The Engineer penalty kill, as good as they were yesterday, looked a little bit out of sorts during that kill. And the Big Greens power play unit looking much, much more effective than they were last night. That's what tends to happen when you're in a desperate situation. With 12:47 left in the first period, Dartmouth takes a 1-0 lead on the power play.
Rogic wins the faceoff at center ice. Engineers trail for the first time this weekend. Dolan crosses the blue line, red line. Engineers send the puck in. It's behind the Dartmouth net. Nobody from RPI followed up on this, and Hartley has it for the Big Green. Hartley sends it down into the neutral zone, tied up with an Engineer. RPI puts the puck back in the Dartmouth zone. Big Green have it go off Rogic at the red line. No icing. Bradley goes back, plays it, and now we've got a whistle. Is RPI going off again? Yeah, Tenorti's going off, and he was pretty irate about something. That's a roughing call against Tenorti. Dartmouth going back on the power play.
Another dangerous point for the Engineers. I mean, this is exactly what they didn't want to be doing. They basically are in a situation where they've essentially given up 2 goals here. Only one of them counted, but now they're going back on the penalty kill, which didn't look good early, and the Dartmouth power play much, much improved from last night, obviously.
1-for-1, Dartmouth is on the power play. Number 2 as it's Tenorti in for a rough. 12:10 to go here. Period 1. Dartmouth leads 1-0 in game 2 of this series. Dartmouth able to get it to the neutral zone as the Engineers had a chance to stop that breakout, but Dartmouth misplays it in the neutral zone, and it goes back the other way. Gillespie's pressure. Can't get the puck away from the Big Green. Sakura into the neutral zone. Up for McNally. McNally dumps the puck into the near corner. Puck goes behind the net. McNally feeds it over to the far right side. Engineers can't poke it out. Sakura at the point. Takes a shot. Diebold makes a save. Puck goes loose. Diebold gets knocked down as a McNally got forced into him by the RPID. He's back up. Neely with a shot. Misses the net. Went to Diebold's left. RPI can't. Nope, now they'll clear as Sakura tried to send it down ice. We've got a penalty coming up against Dartmouth. Holding the stick call. You could have gone for interference on that as well, and that wipes out the rest of the power play.
Doesn't matter, but if for Dartmouth, that's really a good penalty to take. You don't want to be having momentum shift back on a shorthanded opportunity for the Engineers. That's exactly what likely would have taken place had Sakura not basically taking down McGowan at that point. So that ends the second Dartmouth power play, and we will have a minute 9 of 4-on-4 coming up with the next face-off to the right of Charles Green.
Schrader wins the face-off back to Bradley. Winds up, takes a shot, hits off Schrader's leg, I think, and moves to the backboards. Four-side here at the Fieldhouse. 1 minute to go until RPI gets an abbreviated power play. Dartmouth neutral zone, up ahead. Bly crosses the blue line, sends it across ice. Shot and off an Engineer. Did it go off D-ball to the defenseman? I don't know. Into the netting, face-off in the RPI zone.
We saw a 4-on-4 situation last night, and the Engineers were dominant during that flow of play, but really, I mean, it's hard to believe we're only about 9 minutes into the period because this has been essentially 9 minutes of domination by Dartmouth.
They'll take the face-off outside the zone. I saw that. These things happen. Engineers win the face-off. Four-side for the next 40 seconds. Dumped in by Dolan. Pinkston stops it in the near corner. Gets some space. Mosi has it underneath him. Can't get it out of the zone. Bubella backhands it at the point. Puck in the corner. Pinkston doesn't have a stick. That's going to cause some trouble for Dartmouth. They get it up ahead. Mosi in the neutral zone. Takes the puck in. Can't get past Dolan. Engineers keep it away from Beamish on the far side into the neutral zone. A little bit too far for Schrader. Now Dartmouth turns the other way. Dartmouth into the zone. Shot saved by Diebold. Mosi with the opportunity. Diebold just cradles it, and he holds on.
Well, the Engineers are 8 seconds away from going on their first power play of the game. It'll be an abbreviated one, just 52 seconds long. The scoring for Dartmouth, the first goal of the game, scored by Eric Neely, his 14th of the season from Grant Opperman and Tyler Secura. That goal coming on the power play at 7:13 in the first period.
Neely against Higgs. That faceoff almost goes out of play. Puck behind the net. 3 seconds to a power play for RPI. Dartmouth trying to kill some time in the zone as getting worked over is Neely as he's down on his knees, can't get up. RPI's on the man advantage. 1-0 Dartmouth leads here in the first. Engineers' first power play of the game. Higgs crosses the blue line. Gets hit up along the boards. O'Brien in the corner gets the puck and is able to get it past Liberté to the neutral zone. 30 seconds left on this power play for RPI. Zaleski. Higgs beats it back to Neal. Crosses the red line. Cross ice for Haggerty. Far point. Haggerty towards the net. Engineers trying to tic-tac-toe that puck around in the slot, and they lose control of it, and now it's cleared past Zaleski at the point. About 10 seconds left on the power play for RPI. Over halfway through the first period, 1-0 Dartmouth. Haggerty weaving his way through. Stops at the near point now. Sends a cross ice for Leonard. Down low for Neal. Back to Leonard. Back to five-a-side here at the Fieldhouse. 1-0 Dartmouth leads. Leonard at center point. Near side for LeBuff. His shot hits the Dartmouth skate. Dartmouth can't clear, though. Goes to Higgs in the near corner. Behind the net for Neal. He hits the referee's skate, who couldn't jump in time. Engineer cross-ice pass goes to nobody. Now LeBuff at the point has it. It goes off Simpson's skate to the far corner. It was going to miss anyway if it hadn't hit the skate. Puck in the far corner. Engineers trying to get possession. Can't. Neal couldn't get it, and Dartmouth clears it by sending it in the air. Stopped by Leonard in the neutral zone. Haggerty has it. Haggerty, near side for Miller. Winds up, takes a shot. Grant makes that save, and he holds on to it. And that should be RPI's second shot on goal.
And that's exactly what it is. The Engineers just not getting the opportunities in the offensive end by no real fault of the offense, just because they haven't controlled the puck, and the defense just hasn't done a good job clearing out of their own zone or maintaining possession in the zone. It's the forechecking, it's the physical play, and it's the energy that Dartmouth bring in this game that's really the controlling factor right now.
McGowan against Neely on the faceoff. Big Green win to the point. Pass Bradley at the point. Opperman goes and grabs that puck. Opperman crosses the blue line, but they're offsides. McNally was in the zone early.
Even in a situation like that, kind of a 50-50 puck in the neutral zone. If you're the Engineers, you do want to kind of be falling back, but it would have been simple enough for any of 3 different players to poke check that puck away, keep things out of danger for the time being.
Neely kicks the faceoff back to his team. Shot from Bolt from the neutral zone is saved by Diebold. That's Dartmouth's 15th shot on goal. RPI still with only 2.
This is something that we saw RPI doing during the Brown game last week. They're confident enough they're taking shots from pretty much anywhere.
Bolt at the point, shot, and saved by D-Bolt, and rebound comes out into the slot, cleared by Dolan just across the blue line. Dartmouth touches it by accident, really, when they dumped it back in, and they're offside.
RPI defense looking very tentative in front of Scott D-Bolt. He's not going to be able to hold on to every single puck that comes at him. It's going to be their job to clear it away. And quite frequently, they just don't seem to be aware of the angle the puck's coming off of them and where the puck is going to be after it leaves the crease area.
Rogic against Neely. Won by the Engineers. This was just outside their blue line. Went back in, back out. RPI crosses the blue line with the puck. Norty got held up at the point. Now it's dumped in further. Dartmouth on the near side trying to clear it out. It's underneath Rogic, who didn't see it, and Dartmouth can't get it out. Tenorti had it. Backhands it down low. Fulton tries for a wraparound. Puck goes through the crease. Over to the near side, right to Opperman. Opperman, neutral zone. McNally crosses in. Puck's loose in the slot. Engineers whack it to the far side. Now Rogic finally gets control of it. Near side for Karate and into the neutral zone. Past everybody on the dump in. Engineers are switching up. Karati's the only person going down, looking for this puck right now as everybody else changed. Karate goes to the bench now. Simpson with control. Gets the red line, backhands it into the RPI zone. 1-0 Dartmouth leads here in the first. Collision behind the net. Engineers with the puck. LaBeouf has it. Gets it to Leonard. Leonard turns in the far corner. Bubella has it. Bubella neutral zone to Neal. Red line. Neal eases the puck in. Near corner. Dartmouth there first. Odd bounce off the boards near where the Zamboni comes in. It bounces oddly there a lot, and that allows Dartmouth to get the puck and clear. O'Brien sends it into the Engineer zone. Leonard back there. 2-on-2 between the corner and the cage trying to get this puck. Now behind the net. Far side, La Liberté has some room, has some space and time, and he gets it out. Eases the puck in. The collision you just heard was the Dartmouth player missing the check on La Liberté, who skated away from that totally. For Dartmouth, Hartley falls down but is able to get the puck out of the zone. Penalty coming up against Dartmouth. Shot saved by Grant as Higgs was in the slot. Back to Bradley at the blue line. Cross ice for Dolan. His shot hits a Dartmouth player. They'll touch up, and the Engineers get a power play on a holding call.
Well, RPI fans can take a little bit of heart that at this point, RPI really needs to just be weathering the storm because this has been all Dartmouth, and the score is only 1-0, which you can take heart in. Now the Engineers going on their first full power play of this game. They're 0 for 1 thus far, but their first opportunity was a truncated one. It's a holding call against Dartmouth freshman Josh Hartley.
Face off to the left of Grant. Tied up in the circle. Zaleski kicks it to the point. La Liberté, near side, Haggerty. Face-off circle, looking for Neal, and they didn't see that puck clearly. Couldn't stop it. To Haggerty along the near half boards. Into the middle. La Liberté couldn't get to the puck in time, and Dartmouth clears. Kind of high, too. That was up near us. Not close enough to grab, but it was up here. Back behind the RPI net. Haggerty starts winding this up. 1:35 to go in the power play. Zaleski drops it back for Neal. Looking near side for Higgs, who just jumps into the play. Doesn't get the puck, though. Dartmouth tries to clear it off the back of their own player. That doesn't work the first time. Now Simpson gets it to Sikora, and he doesn't clear it out. Simpson now has time. Winds up, sends the puck down ice. Goes into the corner, back behind the net. Zaleski. He's there for RPI. Near boards. McGowan, left wing side, into the zone. Dumps it in. Dartmouth races back. They get to the puck first, not out. Stopped from going out by Bokenford. Back to Leonard. Near boards, Haggerty. Haggerty, face-off circle. Feeds it to the corner. Bokenford didn't expect that. Has to go back and get it. Now to the near half boards. Engineers touch it. Close to a high stick against RPI. Nope, won't be called. Tenorti at the near point. Into the face-off circle. Bokenford stopped that. Haggerty sends it cross ice. Off at Dartmouth's stick towards the blue line. At the far point, Engineers keep it in. McGowan dumps the puck down low. 35 seconds left on the power play for RPI. Collision in the near corner. Haggerty gets the puck. Haggerty goes into the corner, turns the puck over, and gloved down by Bokenfor on the clear, so he keeps it in the zone. Clearing attempt by Dempsey didn't work. Haggerty sends it across ice. That hits somebody, goes up and hits the glass on the far side. Couple of gloves now down on the ice as people are just losing clothing. Puck's in the far corner of the Dartmouth zone. Tenorti sends across ice. Near side, Dolan has to get it off the board, slow it down, and hits a glove on the near side. And now, I don't know what Bokenfor was thinking, but he cleared it down ice for Dartmouth. That wasn't the plan.
Perfect clearance, though.
Yeah. Power play expired. Back to 5-a-side here at the Houston Fieldhouse. 1-0 Engineers lead. They send it in on net from the neutral zone, and that's saved by Grant. Haven't said Grant's name a whole lot in this first period because he hasn't touched the puck much. O'Brien, neutral zone for Dartmouth. Cross-ice pass. It was tipped. Neely almost got to it in time. Couple of hits on the far boards. Everybody gets up. No penalties called. Engineers playing back and forth with the big green as it goes neutral zone, Dartmouth zone, neutral zone, Dartmouth zone. Now the big green. It's tipped near the RPI blue line into the zone. O'Brien racing after it. Bradley gets there first for RPI. Near ice boards. Engineers turn this one over to Neely, who turns it right back to Rogic. 3:50 to go in the period. 1-0 Dartmouth. Rogic gets out towards the blue line. Backhands it off the boards into the near corner. Dartmouth can't clear. Goes right into the crease, and it goes off Grant and then sent out by the big green. It's an icing call, and they kind of needed that.
That was one of those plays where, as a goaltender, your heart just skips a beat because suddenly the puck's right in front of you. He probably didn't even see that until it bounced off of him, and then he had no idea where it was. It was directly below him with Johnny Rogic in the area ready to strike. Dartmouth lucky to get that one out of there. Shots are 16-5 in favor of the big green with the face-off to the left of Grant.
RPI does have the last 3 shots in this game. They do trail 1-0. Call this a Dartmouth face-off win. Cross ice. McNally on the far side. Sends it in, hits an Engineer. Cleared out by RPI. Back to the Dartmouth blue line. Cross ice. Whoops, and it goes. That was a mistake. It goes to Grant, and he's going to glove that and take a face-off.
Bounce high in the air off of Hartley and towards the net. And no goaltender's going to let that go unchallenged while they can still see the puck. It just lands in Grant's glove. He'll just take the face-off coming up to his right.
Bly gets kicked out of the face-off circle. Opperman comes in against the Liberté. Puck goes to the boards. It's an RPI win. Lavella tried to feed it out front, hit off a stick. Dartmouth has it. Opperman at his blue line into the neutral zone. Pass across the blue line is deflected by an Engineer. Dartmouth has to touch up. Now they send it in. LaBeouf gets it, though, and takes it out. Dartmouth's plans all went awry there as LaBeouf sends the puck into the zone. Dartmouth. Big Green have it. Kirk on the far side. Can't get it out. RPI kept it in briefly. Now Higgs has it along the blue line, but nobody to pass it to. The Engineers are going for a change. Opperman to Bly. Bly into the zone, gets hit by Leonard. Engineers clear off the glass. Looking for Zaleski coming down the left wing side, but he can't beat Simpson to the puck. Simpson's able to clear it neutral zone, stopped by Bradley. 2.5 to go in the first. 1-0 Dartmouth. Cross ice to Dolan. Neutral zone. Higgs in front of his bench. Backhand pass, turns it over. Sakura falls down, gets the puck into the zone, though. Dartmouth follows up. Backhander across ice, and they almost found Mosi all alone on the far side. And misplayed by Pinkston at the point far side, and the puck goes out. Dartmouth almost with a goal, then almost with a chance to keep it in the zone. Didn't work. Mosi gets the puck back, goes across. He's at the top of the slot and goes towards the net. Diebold has to come out and play that, and he couldn't cover it, but RPI is able to get it out on the far side. Dartmouth regains possession in the neutral zone, dumps it in, they'll take a line change. 1:50 to go, first period. Dartmouth up 1-0. Engineers to the neutral zone and turn it right over. This has not been good neutral zone play by RPI. And Dartmouth gets the red line and Kirk dumps it in. Diebold behind the net, swings it around to the near side. Big Green get there first. Up off the glass, behind the net. Opperman couldn't beat Dolan to the puck. Dolan, near side McGowan. Oops, not out of the zone. Neely kept it in. Nice work. Neely keeps it in, and do we have a penalty? Yep, penalty coming up. It's going to be against RPI. McGowan touches up. Looks like a hooking or a holding, a hook.
Bad timing regardless for RPI since it seemed like the Dartmouth pressure was easing just slightly there, although the Engineers dug themselves a hole in the last minute or so with some bad turnovers. Kind of allowed Dartmouth the opportunity to get some scoring chances down in the Engineers zone, but now we'll see Dartmouth going right back to the power play. Hooking call coming up against the Engineers. Junior Mark McGowan, the guilty party.
Engineers win the face-off and clear. Neal sends it down ice. Third power play for Dartmouth today. They are 1 for 2. The only goal of the game was on their first power play. 1:05 to go in this first period. Engineers trail 1-0. Puck to the far corner. Simpson on the far side. Can't get to the puck. He's unhappy about something. There won't be a call on that, and the Engineers are out. Neal and Higgs down ice, and RPI's offsides. How was Neal offsides? He was watching the puck the whole time.
watching the puck, but not watching where he was on the ice, perhaps. That's the other thing you've got to do. Neal was streaking in basically 2-on-2 with Higgs, passed the puck to him, but should have probably realized that he was basically passing side to side on the Higgs on the near side. Was the first one over the blue line.
Beamish wins the faceoff. Back to Hartley. Simpson. To Mosi. Back to Simpson. Simpson has trouble crossing the blue line. Now he gets the puck across. Far corner. Bradley is there for RPI. 40 seconds to go in the period. More time in the penalty. Top of the faceoff circle. Dartmouth able to keep control. They'll feed it back to Simpson. Simpson was trying to hit Mosi coming from the boards, and it got deflected. And who's to blame for this one? Looks like RPI.
It's hard to put into words. It's really just night and day how much better the Dartmouth power play has been tonight. It's the third time we've seen it. The second time was truncated because Tyler Secura took a holding penalty and a necessary holding penalty after the puck squirted out of the RPI zone. But so far in these opportunities, we've seen a much better Big Green.
Big Green won the faceoff, but misplayed it afterwards, and it goes back the other way. Schrader almost had a break as it was misplayed. Dartmouth now in the neutral zone having trouble. Mosi brings the puck across. O'Brien near ice side. Goes along to the half boards. Engineers clear it out. 13 seconds left in the period. More time in the penalty. Hartley gets it. Crosses the blue line. On net. Saved by Debo. Rebound shot. Saved by Debo. Third shot. Goes off the side of the net. Engineers get it off the glass and get it out into the neutral zone. Almost a goal there. Period will expire. Dartmouth leads 1-0, and RPI has got to get better.
But you have to be happy about the fact that it's just 1-0, given the way that period went. The final shot total is 19-5 in favor of Dartmouth. That's even worse than it was last night in RPI's favors, if you want to cast it in that light. Last night, RPI took a 2-0 lead into the locker room. One might suggest that perhaps Dartmouth has earned a 2-0 lead. At this point, they had a goal disallowed early in this contest, but for RPI, just being down the one goal after what we just saw in that first 20 minutes has to be at least a little bit of a blessing. You had to know that Dartmouth was going to come out playing like a desperate team. That's exactly what they did. Their forechecking, their tenacity on going after the puck and winning puck battles, and just their physical play helped dominate and dictate the way that this first period was going to go. A little bit of a glimmer of light for the Engineers late in the period. They kind of got that pressure off a little bit. The penalty kill actually looked fairly decent for the most part, although Mosley with a couple of good opportunities that the Engineers were bailed out by, with Scott Diebold, who's still playing some tremendous hockey right now. He had a total of 18 saves in that first period alone. Sometimes when your goaltender is playing that well, it can save you from some of your misgivings, I suppose, elsewhere on the ice. And that's what we saw here in the first period. With that, we will step aside and we will come back with the first intermission fairly shortly. Your score after one period of play is Dartmouth 1, RPI 0. You listen to live coverage of Engineers hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Visit the official conference website at ECAChockey.com. tied 0-0. And in the first period, it's Clarkson 1, Princeton 0. Next lacrosse action this afternoon, final score, RPI 9, Pontiac 6-7.
Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as WRPI is broadcasting, we'll provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports, seeking current RPI students. Make live calls of RPI athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for Engineers Baseball. For more information or to express interest, contact us at WRPI-sports at RPI.edu.
About a minute to go before we start period number 2. RPI taking the ice right now, looking for a better second period than they had first, because that first period was all Dartmouth.
It's a challenge, that's for sure. There's no team that wants to quit playing at any time. That's what makes the NCAA tournament so impactful, because any team can get sent home at any given time. Every team is down to their last loss. That's what makes the tournament in Lake Placid the same way. Doesn't matter how easily you breeze through best of threes. At some point, you get to a place where you win or you're done. Dartmouth is in that spot right now. RPI, they've got to play like they're going to be done if they don't win tonight. Because if they don't, they'll be in that same position tomorrow for real.
And it goes back to what we said last night. If they don't win tonight, last night means nothing. It goes down to one game.
And to some extent, the winner of Game 2 has the momentum heading into the deciding game. So it behooves RPI to, I'd say, pick up the pace a little bit, maybe play with a little more energy and physicality.
A little bit?
Let's not overblow things. They are only down 1-0. They weathered the storm to the extent that they were able to in the first period. That's probably the best thing that you can say about what happened in the first 20.
McGowan's still in the box on the hook, so Dartmouth starts out with 39 seconds of power play time on fresh ice. It's Dartmouth right to left, RPI left to right across your radio dial in this period. Big Green control from the faceoff into the neutral zone. Dartmouth dumps it in, off D-Bold. Rebound comes out, not cleared by the Engineers. Back out front, backhander hits an Engineer leg, and it's cleared out. That was Hartley who came in after the first rebound with the backhander. He was trying to quickly take a shot, thinking that Debo might be out of position, but he was not. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Dartmouth sends a puck into the zone. Tipped along the half boards and sent out by the Engineers. That'll do it for the power play. Dartmouth 1-4-3 on the man advantage. They lead 1-0 as we're early in the second period. Now we're officially back to 5-a-side because Al Shibley told us we were. And Dartmouth sends a puck into the zone. Dolan behind the net, sends it out. Engineers tip this and turn it over to Kirk. He dumps it in. It goes off Dolan. Dartmouth trying to swing it into the zone again. Liberté fell down. Haggerty comes out with the puck from the group of players and sends the puck into the Dartmouth zone. Haggerty ties it up behind the net. Big Green dig it out. McNally has it in the corner. Yeah, couldn't get away from everybody. Kirk now has it behind the net for Dartmouth. 1:15 gone by here in period 2. 1-0 Dartmouth. Big Green off the boards. Off Sofer. Looks like it hit him at the bench, and, well, he's not in part of the play, so that's a stoppage.
18:40 left in the second period. Dartmouth has a 1-0 lead. Engineers killed off that penalty that started off the period. They trail in shots on goal 20-5. That's a wide margin.
Pretty big. 4 times as many shots for Dartmouth at this point. Engineer Schrader in the neutral zone. They did win 13-11 in terms of face-offs in the first period. So they had the advantage there. They just don't have the advantage anywhere else. RPI in the Dartmouth zone. Miller in the face-off circle. Takes a shot. Saved by Grant. Rebound goes out to Dartmouth. Big Green along far right side. Into the zone. Shot. Saved. Debo. Big rebound in the slot. Taken by Schrader. Collision knocks the net off. And Diebold is down. Throws his glove off. Do we have a penalty out of this?
I don't think we're going to see one. Andy Simpson was crashing the net. Went flying into both Diebold and the net. The net went flying, which is why we had the stoppage. Now Tara Patnod coming out to take a look at Diebold. He's favoring his arm, his hand.
Still kind of a light crowd here at the Fieldhouse. Diebold is being attended to. 18:13 to go, period number 2. 1-0 Dartmouth.
Well, he doesn't look to be in any continuing pain, I should say. It's hard to tell with the goaltender since he's got the full mask on. Kind of standing and chatting with Tara Patno. Looks like he's probably going to stay in the game. She's smiling as she comes off the ice, so can't be anything too major, I suppose.
Sometimes you just need to skate a little bit.
Rub some dirt on it, or some ice chips, I suppose.
No penalties out of that. The light fixture kind of blocked my view of the net as I turned, so I didn't really see what happened there. Face off to the left of Diebold in the RPI zone. Sakura was going up against Miller, but he got kicked out. Miller's arguing this. You're not going to win that argument. McGowan against Sakura. Won by Dartmouth to the point on the far side. Shot goes right into Miller and deflects to Schrader at the blue line. Schrader down ice, left wing side. Schrader stops along the boards, takes a shot. Grant sticks to the side. Big Green. RPI playing with more intensity here in this second period. Won't let Dartmouth get the puck out of the zone as Beamish got tied up along the boards. Into the middle, Sakura has it in the slot. Neutral zone, a little too far for his teammates. They'll wave off icing. LaBeouf has to go into the corner and get it. Mosi goes back there with him. Engineers along the far ice boards. Can they get it out of the zone? Yeah, just barely. They get it across. Backhanded in by the Big Green. Sakura sent it in, but they're going off for a change, are the Dartmouth Big Green. RPI has it. 17.5 to go. Second period at 1-0 Dartmouth. Engineers bring it to the right wing side. Leonard, neutral zone, gets the red line, backhands it in. RPI switching up personnel. Pinkston on the far side sends it down ice, and there won't be any icing there. Again, I'm not sure what the icing rules are anymore, especially come playoff time. Not out of the zone. Kirk at the point, takes a shot, deflects. It went right through Rogic, and then it goes over to the near corner. Back to Kirk at the point. Another shot saved by Diebold, and it goes up into the netting. Face off in the zone.
Big Green used Connor Dempsey there twice to try and shield Diebold from being able to see the puck and using him as a screen. They've been doing that an awful lot better than they were last night when they were pretty much not doing it at all last night. So, I mean, this guy Diebold tonight a lot easier. He would be rushing to get the pucks tonight just for the simple fact that he's being screened by the defense, or say by the offense.
Rogic wins the face-off to the corner. There's a tie-up over there. Won't be a penalty. Somebody lost his stick. A lot of times you see a holding the stick call or something like that. Didn't happen. Engineers having trouble clearing this puck. It's behind the net. Going to the far side didn't work. Now on the near side, Engineers off the boards and turn it over to the Big Green. They'll dump it down deep. Dolan has it in the far corner. Dolan along far half boards gets it to the neutral zone. It goes right to the Dartmouth D, though. They get it. Kirk sends it down ice. Is that icing? No, icing's waved off. I give up. Puck's on the far ice side. To Bradley in the far corner. Near side for Dolan. Dolan gets to his blue line. Dumps it down ice and stopped at the blue line by Dartmouth. And the Engineers trying to pull off a line change. They get confused. McNally into the zone. Shot that rises and goes and hits the glass. Engineers having trouble with the line change when the puck went right in front. And that gave Dartmouth a brief opportunity. RPI with possession behind the net. Now into the neutral zone. Selesky near side. Sends the puck into the corner. Engineers, Fulton got there, swung towards the net, goes off Grant to the far face-off circle. Engineers can't get a shot off. Now loose in front of Grant and cleared out by Dartmouth into the neutral zone. Dartmouth in some danger there. One of the best opportunities for RPI to score. Poke checked away from the Engineers in the neutral zone. Neely trying to follow up. He falls down. Karate has the puck in the corner. He waits behind the net. Karate to Bokenfor on the near side. Bokenfor, neutral zone. Higgs. Higgs gets past Kirk at the blue line and sends the puck in. Behind the net, taken by Bolt. Dartmouth. Behind the net, far side, near side, neutral zone, now into the zone. Near corner, Dartmouth. They'll have possession. Out towards the blue line, off the skate of Bolt, and it goes right to Higgs. Higgs, left wing boards, into the Dartmouth zone, stops along half boards, gets knocked down. Crowd wants a call, they don't get one. Dartmouth takes the puck after Higgs goes to the ice. Into the far corner of the RPI zone. Underneath LaBeouf. Now it's underneath Bubella. Coming in was Bly. Hits Bubella. Puck behind the net. There's a race for it. Leonard gets there first, gets to the puck, knocks it into the corner, but now Dartmouth out to the point. Pinkston has it. Sends it off the backboards. Is looking for a deflection or something, but now the net's off its moorings, and that stops play with 14:36 to go here in period number 2. Dartmouth leading 1-0, and you're listening to WRPI Troy with Engineer Hockey from the Houston Fieldhouse. Kurt Stutt, Tom Reel on the call for you in Game 2 of this ECAC first-round playoff matchup.
This might be a good spot for Dartmouth. RPI knocked the net off, so they don't get to change. So face-off in the RPI zone, and Dartmouth gets the matchup that they want.
Sakura against Bubella on the face-off to the right of Diebold. Sakura gets it, feeds it through the slot. I don't know how he did that. Back to Simpson, blue line. His shot hits somebody out front, goes to the blue line. Pinkston keeps it in. Nice work. To the far side. Neely. Backhanded by Sakura. Goes through the slot, and Dartmouth couldn't do anything with it. RPI clears. Race to the dot, and that's an icing call. Neal couldn't beat Simpson to the face-off dot.
That wasn't that dissimilar from some icings that we've seen waved off in the past, so it's, as you said, Curtis, the icing has been very difficult to draw on here, but nonetheless, RPI is still stuck with the same players out that had been previously. It's the second straight stoppage that RPI is not allowed to change.
Sakura against Beamish, or pardon me, against Brubella. Won by Dartmouth. Shot saved by Diebold. No rebound. And there'll be another face-off. RPI gets a change, though, this time.
That's sometimes the benefit. You get a shot come in, get that into your big mid as a goaltender, slow the game down a little bit, or in this case, give your team the opportunity to change personnel.
Miller against Sakura. The right of Diebold. Won by the Engineers. Bradley fans trying to clear it out. Dartmouth trying to poke it home from the side of the net. Can't. And it's kind of a bad angle. There's some mash you have to go through to get the puck in the net that way. Engineers. Dolan behind the net. He's got some room. Far side, McGowan, neutral zone in front of the Dartmouth bench on the opposite side of the ice from us. Into the Dartmouth zone. RPI is offsides on this play. That allows Dartmouth to get it. Up to Beamish, neutral zone. He can't handle the pass. Engineers steal it, and they turn it over. Sakura has it. Sakura to Mosi, crosses the blue line. Sakura shot, save, Diebold, rebound, covers.
And it's Scott Diebold saving RPI's bacon once again. As that shot came in with the Dartmouth player, I believe that was Beamish, well behind the defense. With 13:38 left in the second period, Dartmouth still only up 1-0, but they certainly, here in the second period, have been able to translate a lot of what they had success on in the first period, carrying over here into the middle stanza. It does not bode well for RPI. They've got to get something organized defensively and begin mounting counterattack.
Lovejoy against Zaleski to the right of Diebold. I think every faceoff from now on is going to be in that corner. Engineers win this one. Volkin for behind the net. Waits. Zaleski comes in, takes the puck from him. Zaleski on the near side. To the blue line. Zaleski red line. Dumps the puck in. Near ice side. Around the boards. Haggerty misplays it on the near side, and Volkin reaches up, grabs it, but he can't keep it in the zone. Engineers touched up. Volkin dumps the puck in. Over on the far side, a collision, and Dartmouth is able to get the puck out of the zone. Girardi retreats. Volkin has trouble. Didn't know the pass was coming or didn't know where it was, and the Engineers have to go behind their net now. Girardi to Zaleski, who has trouble clearing it. Now Engineers finally get it out of the zone. Neutral zone. They cross. Haggerty, Higgs near side looking for Haggerty a little bit too far. Dartmouth gloves the puck down, and they avoid a hand pass and get it out of the zone. Dempsey, neutral zone, going down ice, 3-on-2. Dempsey comes in on the near side. Dempsey passes into the middle, now to the far side. Shot goes through the crease. And Dartmouth, that 3-on-2 didn't look so good. Tenorti, counterattacks along right wing boards. Stops and turns in the corner. Back to Leonard at the point. Leonard, pass to Norty, to Rogic behind the net. Rogic goes to the far side. Knocked away by the big green, and they're going to cross the blue line. Dartmouth gets the red line, and they'll dump the puck in. Diebold tried to slow that down. Goes behind him to the back of the net. Around the boards near side, puck's on its edge. Past the blue line, and Tenorti's going to try this side again. Gets it to Rogic. Back to Tenorti, face-off circle. Has to turn to Bradley at the point. Shot hits bodies out front. Tenorti now takes a shot. Saved by Grant. Engineers can't turn around. Rogic got a stick on it, but he couldn't move it towards the net when it was open on that side, on the far side. Dartmouth able to get the puck behind the net and clear it out. 1-0 Dartmouth leads here. Period number 2. 11:40 to go in the period. Shot saved. Looks like it went off Diebold's face mask. Puck in the far corner. LeBuff to the near side. McNally gets there first, right out front, tip and save. Rebound goes into the face-off circle on the far side, and it's cleared out by the Engineers. Neely with that tip, and Diebold with a huge save. Engineers back and forth in front of the net. Shot, save, Quinn, score on the rebound, Liberté.
That was a solid counterattack by the Engineers there with some big saves down in the RPI zone for Scott Diebold, saving RPI once again. Finally, for the first time in this game, the Engineers really organized that counterattack that I was talking about, moving the puck quickly through that neutral zone and really keeping the Dartmouth defense on their heels because of the rate of movement of the puck. The Engineers got a couple of decent scoring opportunities down below, and finally Jacob Liberté shovels it into the net. We've got a group of referees conferring in the crease area. I should say the referee's crease. What do you call a group of referees? A gaggle? Something along those lines? Anyway, they look like they're more describing something to...
What would you call a group of zebras?
I have no idea.
I would think a herd.
Third period, we'll look that up.
We're going to look that up. We'll have that for you.
Looks like the real crux of it was that Dartmouth is complaining about something. I'm not sure what they're complaining about, because unless they think that Grant was interfered with somehow. I don't believe he was, because the puck went to the left of him after he made the save, and Liberté was just there to shovel it into the open net, basically. This is going to stand up. Liberté scores again for RPI.
Bob Gaudette obviously unhappy. We're tied at 1 here in the second. Engineers with the draw, with the win on the draw, and have it back in their zone. Now they'll dump it in. Grant stops it behind the net. Puck comes around near side. Schrader has it through the crease, and the tip by McGowan. He missed it. Grant was still over on this side of the net. McGowan came far side, and he missed it on the tip. Dartmouth tries a counterattack. They can't cross the blue line. They're outside. Now they're in. Shearhorn has it. He takes a shot, and it goes off the stick. It was a weak shot off the stick and comes to the near ice side. Engineers get the puck out to the neutral zone. McGowan had it, lost it in the neutral zone. Now gets it back again. Dumps it behind the Dartmouth net. Big Green to the near side. Shearhorn doesn't know where the puck is. Somebody just lost a stick. That was Hartley. And Dartmouth goes back and takes it in their corner. Engineers are going off on a change. 1-1 is the score. Dartmouth trying for the home run pass to Mosi at the RPI blue line. There were too many bodies in front. Dumped in. Grant plays it behind the net. Far side. Mosi has it. Mosi waits enough, and now he has trouble getting out of the zone. Dartmouth finally dumps it into the RPI zone. Played by, oh my gosh, Diebold came out, played, and it goes to the face-off circle, and it goes right to Dartmouth. They backhand it in to lead 2-1.
That's not on Diebold at all. He was looking at potentially playing that puck at first. I think he thought his defense was going to clear it away, and nobody at all moved towards that puck. He decided he needed to come out just enough to try and poke check it away. He didn't get there in time. Wide open net for Beamish to put it in on the backhand. And just like that, just as RPI looked like they were starting to turn the momentum around, they find themselves trailing again 2-1.
Right off the faceoff, Mosi into the zone. Can't turn around and take the shot from the faceoff circle. 2-1, Dartmouth leads here halfway through period 2. Near side, Tenardi has it. Faceoff circle. His shot misses. Off the boards, far side. Dartmouth, can they get to it? Sakura along the boards, got it, gets it to a teammate. Sakura gets it back again across the blue line. Sakura kicks it, nope, can't get it across the blue line. Dartmouth is offside, doesn't matter, RPI is out. Fulton, he crosses the blue line. Fulton gets the puck in the face-off circle, no shot, off his skate, right to Dartmouth, and Mosi has it. Puck goes high in the air, hits the scoreboard, I guess, and that's out of play.
Scoring on the last 2 goals, both of them at even strength. The first one at 8:43 in the second period, an even strength goal by Jacob Liberté, his 8th of the season, with the lone assist to Matt Neal, who had the initial shot, made it 1-1. Then just a scant minute later, just 9:51 of the second period, Jesse Beamish scoring unassisted. Although I think you could give a big assist to the RPI defense, who was basically staring at a puck that was sitting there.
Engineers win the faceoff in the Dartmouth zone, but the shot block goes into the neutral zone. RPI dumps it in again. Near side, Liberté, centering pass, goes off a Dartmouth player. Behind the net, far corner. Big Green. Opperman couldn't turn around and get it out of there. Puck comes around near side. Bokenford keeps it in at the point. Tip goes into the far corner. Opperman gets a stick on it and clears it to the neutral zone. Couldn't get to McNally at the blue line. Engineers have it. Center ice circle, Neal turns up ice, crosses. Neal takes a shot, saved by Grant, and sent over to the far ice boards. Dartmouth, if they hurry up, they can get an on-man break here. They'll get to the red line and sky it in. It goes off the glass, and they're going to switch up some personnel. Along the near ice boards, Dartmouth centering pass. Nobody there. McGowan takes it for RPI. Neutral zone in front of the RPI bench. McGowan tried to backhand it in, falls down. We've got a whistle. What happened?
Somebody's going to the penalty box. It's going to be Dartmouth. All I heard was a referee yelling somebody's going to the box. I couldn't see what the call was. It's McNally in there. He's arguing as he takes a seat. RPI going back on the power play here. It's a big spot for the Engineers because they had a lot of momentum after the goal by La Liberté for a good minute, and then a really, really bad goal that the defense needed to be a lot sharper on. Ends up putting them down another goal, but now they're on the power play. We'll see what we can get out of this.
Engineers on their third power play of the game, 0-4-2. They won the face-off out to the point. La Liberté has it squeak by him to the neutral zone. Sakura applying pressure for Dartmouth. Engineers have to retreat. That is McNally off for a slash. That gives RPI their third power play. Engineers neutral zone. Neal, backhander to the far side. Higgs across the blue line. La Liberté far point. Near side for Zaleski. Zaleski off the board. Sunil on the face-off circle. Cross ice, far side. Shot, score! Haggerty!
The math adds up like this. There's 5 Engineers and there's 4 Big Green on this power play. There's a way to get a man on Ryan Haggerty, I swear it. They might be leaving somebody else open, but you're talking about a guy who is one of the leading goal scorers in the whole country. I just don't understand why Dartmouth is allowing Ryan Haggerty to have lots of open ice on the power play. That's the second time in 2 games that we've seen that, and Ryan Haggerty powers it right to the back of the net, ties this game back up at 2 with 8:05 left.
Face-off, won by Dartmouth. Jumped into the RPI zone. So looks like it's going to be one of those games. Up along the far half boards. Engineers can't get this one out. Fulton trying to dig this one out from a massive body. Now RPI gets it. LaBeouf sends it down ice, and are they waving off icing? Yep, icing's waved off. Pinkston, near side, Dartmouth up along the boards, can't get it out. Leonard came in at the blue line, had it. Now they'll lose it to Dartmouth. Nope, poked into the corner by Fulton. Thought they were going to lose it, they didn't. Fulton sends it behind the net. Tenorti out front looking for Rodgick, and he misses the net. Puck goes to the far corner of the Dartmouth zone. Big Green out to the blue line. Neutral zone. Looking ahead for Dempsey. Bad pass, but it goes to Bly on the near side. Bly has it poked away by Leonard. Puck into the corner. Bly can't get back to it as Leonard ties him up, and the Engineers clear. Hartley stops the puck in the neutral zone for Dartmouth. Far side. Dumped in by the Big Green. They're finishing up a switch. Trader at his own blue line near side. To Miller at the blue line. He lost the puck in his skates, and Dartmouth counterattacks. Dartmouth, they'll leave the puck in the slot. Shot saved, D-ball, and he holds on to it as Dartmouth was a little confused coming into the zone. Bly ended up taking the shot.
Big spot for the Engineers scoring on the power play. Goal coming at 11:55 in the second period. Ryan Haggerty with his 27th goal of the season. The assists are to Matt Neal, his second of the game, and Mike Zaleski. Makes it a 2-2 game. We have 6:49 remaining in the second period.
Miller against Neely on the far side, won by Dartmouth along the half boards. Now they'll lose control of it. Bokenfor takes it away for RPI. Schrader, neutral zone. In front of the RPI bench, backhanded in by McGowan. Puck goes into the near corner. Dartmouth's there first. Big Green, send it down ice. This should be icing against Dartmouth. Yes, I got it right that time.
They flip a coin and just happen to have it end up with the same result that ends up on the ice, I suppose. Regardless, the icing call brings the face-off back down into the Dartmouth zone. The Engineers showing some life. That's certainly a good sign now that they've tied the score up. We're looking at a game that's about 25 minutes long.
Shot after the face-off from Haggerty was bouncing around. It was a knuckler that missed the net. That could have easily knuckled the other way. It doesn't. Dartmouth player loses his stick. That was Neely as RPI controls the puck. Right off right for Dolan. Dolan takes a shot. Grant has to come out, play that. Grant now trying to cover it up. He does and gets the whistle. And now Roderick's going to get hit by some Dartmouth players as they didn't like the fact Grant got hit. And are people going off at this point? Maybe not.
There's some defensiveness there from Dartmouth, but RPI just trying to do what they can to play the puck. Charles Grant was way out of his net. Doesn't really matter. You still can't hit the goaltender anywhere
in the protected zone.
Anywhere really, but regardless, Higgs was out there trying to play the puck. Grant decided he wanted to come out there as well, kind of just opened him up to the possibility of extra contact, I suppose.
Oh, what happened was Higgs hit Hartley, and Hartley hit the goaltender. That's what happened. Face-off in the Dartmouth zone and swung out of the zone by Haggerty. He didn't mean to do that, but it happened. Dolan has it near face-off circle. Engineers get it out of their zone. Dartmouth, cross-ice pass. Mosi on the far side has it for the Big Green. Mosi goes into the corner, can't center. Knocked up against the boards by Bradley. Haggerty in the near corner for RPI with possession. 5:50 to go, period number 2, tied at 2. Zaleski gets it, backhands the puck into the Dartmouth zone. Haggerty in the corner, looking out front. The pass was behind Higgs. Dartmouth counterattacks. Mosi gets it across the blue line. Mosi shot off. D-Bolt comes over to the near ice side. LaLiberte feeds it to Higgs, going down ice. Red line, blue line for Higgs. Higgs loses his balance in the far face-off circle. Big Green have it. Somehow LaLiberte managed to check himself into the boards behind the net. Dartmouth clears. Leonard stops the puck at the red line. Daniil crosses the blue line. Backhander, dishing it off to the far side, goes into the middle. Dartmouth had 4 players in the slot, and they're able to get possession. Dartmouth behind the net. Near side, Beamish gets it across the blue line. Not much. Secura now has it. Secura has trouble playing the puck. It goes to Beamish. Beamish sends it in on net. Debo gloves it and waits for Dartmouth to show up and gets the whistle.
4:57 left in the second period. RPI and Dartmouth tied at 2. I'm sure Kurt was over there thinking, boy, I just jinxed it by saying it's about a 25-minute game left. And this game could obviously go on indefinitely if we don't get a winner. But for all intents and purposes, that's what we've got left for the rest of regulation at least, and these teams are square on the scoreboard.
After the face-off, which was a mess in the circle, the Engineers to the neutral zone. Dartmouth feeds the puck back. Engineers with it again. Bokenfour off the boards, and Dartmouth gets it again. Back to RPI's D. Karardi sends the puck along the far ice boards, and Dartmouth stops it once more to Lovejoy. Lovejoy sends the puck in off his own player. Dartmouth can't possess. Engineers clear. Simpson retreats to the Dartmouth zone. Off the boards, not out of the zone. Raja comes in along the boards, keeps it in. He falls down. Dartmouth player loses his stick. That happens a lot on the far side tonight. Over to the near ice side. Bokenfour goes into the corner. He gets hit by Hartley. A couple of times gets hit by Hartley. Engineers, though, with the puck. Tenorti face-off circle. Tries to take a shot, and it goes off the shoulder of Grant to the far side. Engineers keep it in. Tenorti behind. No, pardon me. That's not Tenorti. That was Fulton behind the net. Had it. Fed it out to the point. Dartmouth gloves it down as it goes into the slot. And the Big Green going to the RPI zone. Shot misses the net. Comes around to the near ice side. McGowan backhander to the point. Linesman collides with Schrader. Does correctly signal offsides, though, while all that was happening. And Dartmouth now has to dump it back in after they touch up. Engineers get to the puck, though, first. Karardi, neutral zone to Schrader. Schrader along near ice boards into the zone. He dumps the puck into the far corner. Still a stick over there. McGowan hits the stick. Knocks that away, takes the puck, almost gets tripped up, almost hits the stick again. Puck along the far boards. Bradley falls down. Puck comes around to the near ice side. Dartmouth along the half board. Shearhorn gets it out of the zone. Dolan gets it. RPI's touched up. Switching personnel. Big Green with possession. 3:15 to go here in the second. Tied at 2. Dartmouth neutral zone. Dishing it off. O'Brien to the far ice side. Over the head of Diebold as it went to Bly, and his shot was deflected. Puck in front of the RPI bench. Engineers can't pull it across the blue line. Back to Bradley at his blue line. Now to the Dartmouth blue line. Simpson doesn't clear, but Higgs has trouble possessing it. Now Dartmouth gets it across the blue line. To Shearhorn. He moves right up front. Tries to move through Dolan. That doesn't work. At the blue line, Haggerty has trouble pulling it across. Bly got in the way of that. It goes back to Pinkston at the Dartmouth blue line. Cross to Simpson. Tipped off Bly. Goes in towards the net. Diebold sticks it aside. Taken by Bradley for RPI. 2.5 to go here in the second. Tied at 2. Haggerty at the blue line. Plays the puck enough to get some help to Zaleski. To Haggerty. Shot. Save Grant. And Higgs right out front. Couldn't turn around and poke it home. He had Grant tied up with him. If he could have turned around and pulled that puck more towards the net, it would have been a goal.
Just didn't have the angle.
Just didn't have it. Did everything he could. Dartmouth having trouble clearing right now. McNally along the near boards. Dartmouth is waiting a little bit too long. Rubella comes in, steals the puck. The Liberté along the boards. Cross ice. LeBuff takes a shot. Grant gloves it. Dartmouth needed a change.
I'm trying to think about what McNally was doing there. He had his back to 2 RPI forwards in his own zone, just sitting there with the puck, and RPI just went in there and snatched it from him. It's strange, really. I mean, you're fighting for your life, and you're just sitting there in your own zone with the puck, not behind your net, not really in control of anything, and just get your pocket picked. RPI was able to complete a full change behind the play because of that.
Face off to the right of Grant. Shot goes to a stick, not in towards the net. Dartmouth trying to head down ice. Beamish brings it across on the far side. Beamish takes a shot, doesn't make it there. Sakura stopped that in the face-off circle and was taken by Leonard. He clears. Neutral zone. Pinkston gets it up ice. Stopped by the Engineers. LeBuff, cross ice to Leonard. He gets the red line, dumps the puck in. Neal hits him behind the net. Rubella has it in the corner, trying to get hit off the play. Goes right into the slot, but nobody's there except the people wearing green uniforms. Dartmouth gets the red line. They dump it into the RPI zone. 1:20 to go here. Period number 2, tied at 2. Puck's in the far corner to the left of Scott Diebold. Referees tell him to move it. Rubella takes it for RPI. Cross ice. They get it up to Bokenfor. Dishes it off to his left for Neal. Puck goes behind the net. Dartmouth is there. Big Green. Send it off the glass. Gloved down by Rogic. Stopped at the blue line by Hartley. Cross ice to Simpson. Bly has a far side shot and doesn't make it. Stopped by Dolan. He stopped it with his body and then clears it into the neutral zone. Puck to the Dartmouth zone. Immediately knocked out by Dartmouth. Well, not immediately, but pretty quickly knocked out by Dartmouth. It goes back to the RPI zone. Not enough momentum for icing. 35 seconds left in the second period. Tied at 2. Haggerty has it. Neutral zone. Rogic, right wing side. Feeds it back to Haggerty. Looks into the corner for Rogic. Haggerty had to lean back and get that one. Towards the slot. Poked into the corner by Bolt. Now to the neutral zone. Dolan stops it as Dartmouth cleared. Sent back in by the Big Green, and they have a high stick oops against them. There'll be a face-off in the Dartmouth zone.
I didn't see that puck being played with a high stick. I did see Haggerty shooting it down into the zone. I had assumed that it was touched by him. I'm not certain what's going on, but Kurt saw it, so it must have happened. 14.6 seconds left in the second period. RPI and Dartmouth tied at 2.
Neely against Zaleski to the left of Grant. Won by the Engineers. Haggerty couldn't get a shot off, and the puck is clear. 10 seconds to go in the period. Far side, LeBuff knocks the puck in. Hits Kirk, cleared down ice. We've got a penalty coming up. It should be against RPI. And there's a collision. There's some disagreement over by the blue line. You can't see it through the scoreboard.
Roughing is the call.
It's RPI, I believe, going off on this. No, maybe not. Maybe one of each. I thought Dartmouth cleared it down ice.
The referee had his arm in the air.
Yeah.
It looked like
Dartmouth sent it down ice, and the penalty should have been called at that point. Now McNally is going off.
Originally they were pointing down towards the RPI end of the ice, like the faceoff was going to be down there. Now everyone's skating back towards the Dartmouth, and nobody's in the box.
McNally just went off. Somebody has to sit.
McNally just got. That's what it was. They opened up the area, the Zamboni doors, so he's off for boarding. 1.1 seconds left. Regardless, it's McNally for boarding. 2 minutes and probably a misconduct as well since he's gone. Well, maybe
no,
not.
Maybe not. He may have had an equipment problem and went off.
Diebold out of the net.
Diebold's out of the net. Face-off is won by RPI, but their shot would have been too late to go in, and the second period ends tied at 2. So McNally, he may have gone off with an equipment problem, and they didn't put anybody in the box because it would have been too late. It wouldn't have mattered. Let's see if he comes out to sit, because they didn't announce anything but a 2-minute boarding call against McNally.
Usually, if a guy goes off before the end of the period, it's because of a misconduct or a major of some kind. It wasn't a major. It was a 2-minute penalty. Whatever. I mean, 1 second left doesn't much matter. So just causes confusion. Bob Gaudet is
unhappy.
Yeah, he seems displeased with the way things are going. I think for Dartmouth right now, their biggest worry has got to be so the correction is exactly what we thought it was.
Yeah, okay, so they're announcing it's on McNally, which is what we thought.
Anyway, the tough part here for Dartmouth has to be they know that they spent the first 30 minutes of this game in pretty much complete dominance. And here they sit 20 minutes away from the end of regulation, and there's still nothing between these teams on the scoreboard. RPI was opportunistic in getting a couple of goals. They got one on the power play. They got one on a good counterattack. Then the Engineers started to reverse the tide a little bit late in the period. Dartmouth has to be really thinking, or what they shouldn't be thinking is, what do we got to do? They can't get despondent over the fact that they're not winning despite the way they've been playing. If they want to still be playing later on, they've got to come out still playing desperate and just be calm and continue playing the game that they were playing earlier, and good things will probably happen for them. With that, we will step aside. We'll be back with the second intermission in short order. Your score after 2 periods of play here at the Houston Fieldhouse is RPI 2 and Dartmouth 2. You are listening to Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
In the other ECAC quarterfinal series, in the second, it's Clemson 3, Princeton 0. Early in the third, St. Lawrence scoring round 1. And early in the third, it's Harvard 1 to Yale 0.
back live inside the Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Toronto, New York, as we get set to start the third period of action between the RPI Engineers and the Dartmouth Big Green. Your score after 2 periods of play is RPI 2, Dartmouth 2. My name is Tom Reel, joined tonight by Kurt Stutt. You're listening to all of this in your home for Engineers Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Before we start the third period, we want to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as WRPI is sending out something over the ether of the air, we'll broadcast that on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports is seeking current RPI students to make live calls of RPI athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for men's and women's hockey, or I should say, baseball. For more information or to express interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu, and I was really just waiting to do that at some point this weekend.
You knew it was going to happen.
Yep.
20 minutes are up on the big board. It's Dartmouth, left to right, RPI right to left across your radio dial in period number 3. We are tied at 2. Again, this is the playoffs. We need a winner. However long that takes, we need a winner. So if it's tied after 3, we're going to 4.
Bob Gaudette seems to be resuming the argument that he was having with the officials before the second period ended.
A little bit calmer, but yes, still arguing about something. I think he's arguing that both teams should have lost somebody in whatever the scuffle was that was behind the scoreboard.
I will take your word for it because I could see less than you.
Well, I didn't really see it either because I've got the banner and the scoreboard combining to block my view. So I think that's what his argument was. Not so much my guy shouldn't have been called, but they should have had a guy called. McNally is now in the box.
RPI with 1:59 of power play time to start the third period off, which could be beneficial to them with this fresh ice.
Fourth power play for the Engineers. They had a little over a second, 1.1 seconds of that in the second period. They win the face-off, but they're headed in the wrong direction at the moment. Zaleski starts the rush. Blue line, near side, feeds it back to nobody. You know, they've done that backhand pass a lot in the neutral zone tonight, and it's not worked more than it's worked. It's a blind backhand pass. Zaleski. Blue line. Again, leaves it behind. Neal comes and picks up the puck. Neal crosses the blue line on the near side. Neal goes into the corner. Behind the net. Neal goes to the far side. Neal, blue line. Zaleski, center point. Back to Neal. Back to Zaleski. Neal, face-off circle. He'll retreat. Zaleski on the near side. Crowd getting anxious. Neal, center point. Feeds it back to Haggerty. Haggerty's shot goes off somebody. Loose to the side of the net. Grant with the first save. And I think he got it the second time. Yeah, he's got it. 2 saves by Grant. No goals by RPI.
Well, the crowd certainly was getting anxious. They wanted to see a shot come. Neal and Zaleski were playing catch with it, just waiting to see what would develop. In the end, they got a good scoring opportunity out of it, so you can't really fault them for waiting right there.
Nice save by Grant. He just kept his glove from going across the red line when he had the puck in it. Engineers win the faceoff. Zaleski face-off circle. Down low for Higgs. Trying to find Haggerty, but tipped away by O'Brien, and the puck goes to the RPI zone. The Liberté races back to keep it away from O'Brien. The Liberté goes into the boards oddly as O'Brien touched him a little bit, but not much. Won't be a call on that. Engineers cross the blue line. Neal has a face-off circle. Curls. Back to Zaleski, center point. No shot. Fans trying to pass the puck. Now to Neal. He kicked it. Puck doesn't go out of the zone, though, as Dartmouth couldn't get a handle on that to clear it out. Again, Dartmouth can't clear it. Zaleski has it along the boards now to Liberté. Neal down low, looking for the Liberté. He backhands it towards the net. Knocked away by Grant and sent down the ice by Dartmouth. 20 seconds left on this power play for RPI. 18-15 to go here in the third. Tied at 2. Dolan behind the net. Waits. This is pretty much going to do it for the power play. There's 10 seconds to go at this point. Leonard, near side, McGowan sends the puck in past Simpson. Into the near corner. Tied up there. Power play's over with, 5 aside. McNally comes out of the box. Puck stays in the corner, and finally we get a whistle. There'll be a face-off in the Dartmouth zone.
Not a bad showing for the Engineers on that power play. With the 5 forwards out there, they were efficient at moving the puck around, and they didn't take too many opportunities, or they didn't take too many chances. That is, they didn't do something that would lead to a bad turnover that would lead to an odd man rush the other way. So good scoring opportunities. They didn't get the goal, but still a decent-looking power play for RPI.
Secure on the faceoff for Dartmouth. Got it to the corner. His team didn't get there at first. Now they'll get it out of the zone. Some nice use of the boards, but LaBeouf at the red line dumps it back in. Grant slows it down. Pinkston off the boards into the middle. Engineers, Rogic couldn't turn fast enough to get to that puck. Face-off circle. Schrader has it. Schrader towards the blue line, tips off a Dartmouth stick, goes to Leonard at the far side. Off the boards, into the far corner. Miller to the half boards for RPI. He gets hit along the boards. Pinkston falls down with him. The puck's underneath Miller. Where did it go? It's still underneath Miller. Scoots out from between his legs and goes right back towards Miller. Now it's to the point for Leonard. At the blue line, winds up, takes a shot. Grant makes the save with the blocker. Comes over to the near side. At the point, LaBeouf keeps it in. Corner for Schrader. Gets away from one man. Sakura stays on him, loses the puck. Mosi has it, and he gets it to the neutral zone. Big windup. Goes in on Diebold. Beamish wound up in the neutral zone, drove it in. He makes a blocker save, and the puck is cleared out by RPI. Far corner of the Dartmouth zone. It's back in there. It's been in the Dartmouth zone a lot early in this third period. We're a little over 3 minutes into the period. Still tied at 2 here in Troy. Dartmouth digs it out of the corner. They get the puck to the neutral zone and turn it over to Bubella. Bubella to Neal's skate. Off his skate, he feeds it back to Karardi, who dumps it down ice, but Bolt stops it at his blue line and goes the other way. He feeds it right back to Karardi. I guess it's a here. Try it again. Neutral zone. Bubella turns it over. Nickerson now has it. Crosses the blue line. Nickerson face-off circle. Backhander through the top of the crease near side. Nobody there for Dartmouth. And Bolt opts not to pinch. That allows the Engineers to take the puck out. Bubella dumps the puck in along the near ice boards. Grant stops it behind the net. Bokenfour racing down there. Everybody else from RPI went to the bench. He can't get to the puck. Dartmouth clears. At the blue line, Haggerty has it. Sends across ice. Dolan had it. Neutral zone. Back to Dolan. Zaleski on the near side. Crosses the blue line. Zaleski waits. Takes a shot loose to the side of the net. Backhander in towards the crease. And it's still loose. No whistle. Finally, Dartmouth gets it. As most of the people on the ice didn't know where the puck was. Zaleski feeds it back to the blue line. Bradley takes a shot. That's blocked, and it looks like Shearhorn is hurt. Zaleski lost his stick, kicks it into the corner. Shearhorn staying out there for Dartmouth. Higgs has it. Higgs feeds it back to Bradley. Bradley down low, and it goes off Zaleski's stick to the backboards. Zaleski into the far corner. Trying to keep this puck away from Dartmouth. 3 Dartmouth players out there. They'll finally get the puck and get it out to the neutral zone and towards the RPI blue line. O'Brien lost it. It goes to Shearhorn now, who's better. Shearhorn to Bly. Shot saved by Diebold.
Well, it's a good sequence for the Engineers overall, although Dartmouth did look good on that counterattack right there. A nice opportunity there for the Big Green. Shearhorn found Bly right there in the slot with a good opportunity, but the Engineers looking a lot more confident with the puck here in the third period, and that bodes well for them.
Face off to the left of Diebold. 4:57 gone by here in the third, still tied at 2. Pucks along near ice boards. Rogic feeds it back behind the net for Leonard. Dartmouth backs up. Leonard with some space. Tenorti on the far side. Tenorti in front of the Dartmouth bench. Sends the puck in. Behind the net. Kirk gets it back for Simpson. Dartmouth clears. The Engineers were about to turn it over to Neely, but Neely missed the puck. Bolton on the near side into the zone. Shot from the near boards by Tenorti is saved by Grant. Kirk goes into the far corner. He gets hit by Fulton. Simpson waiting outside. No, that's Opperman waiting outside, pardon me. Dartmouth with possession to Opperman. Starts heading down ice. McNally's with him. Opperman, face-off circle. Opperman towards the net, saved by Diebold. Goes off. The rebound gets knocked behind the net by Dartmouth. Another shot from the far boards. Misses the net. Goes through the crease. Comes to the near side. Engineers able to get it out of the zone. Bolt has it back at the Dartmouth blue line. 6 gone by here in the third. Tied at 2. Dartmouth. Pinkston dumps it down ice. Somebody broke a stick out there. It's in the RPI zone, but everybody on the ice has got a stick, so it's not an issue except for the broken stick. Karardi in the far corner gets the puck, sends it off the glass and out. Neutral zone. Dumped in by the Big Green. They'll finish up a line change. RPI to McGowan, neutral zone. Red line, blue line. McGowan gets hit by Hartley. Puck in the face-off circle. Dartmouth can't get it out of the zone. Kept in by Dolan. Drive. Hits off McGowan's stick, I think, and goes to the far corner. Dartmouth now sends it off the glass and down ice, and that is icing, yes.
Yeah, Kurt, that broken stick that you referenced was previously property of Grant Opperman, who was pretty agitated that he wasn't getting a slashing call out of it. And if penalties were argued in a court of law, I think we have a very, very good case. But that's not really how it works here in the ECAC, as well as many other hockey leagues around the world.
Corbella against Lovejoy to the left of Grant. Shot off the face-off by Liberté, gets deflected to the near ice side. Still two aside here. Engineers back out to Dolan at the blue line. Bradley near point. Looking for a deflection in it. Neal gets a deflection, but it misses the net. Dartmouth gets the puck again. Shearhorn sends it down ice, and that'll be another icing against Dartmouth.
You kind of feel the momentum in this game shifting back down towards the Dartmouth zone. With 13:03 left in the third period, still tied at 2. We'll have to see if that equals a go-ahead goal for the Engineers. They have not led yet in this game.
Zaleski against Lovejoy on the face-off, won by Dartmouth. Neutral zone. Are they going to ice this one again? And nope, no icing this time. Puck goes into the corner. Dartmouth at least made it to the face-off circle around the same time. Shearhorn goes into the corner. Looks like he's okay from blocking that shot. Just shook it off. Engineers win that puck battle. Zaleski, neutral zone. Higgs near point. Into the zone. Looking for Zaleski down low. Zaleski in the corner. Higgs has it. Higgs gets hit. Sends the puck to the far ice side. Zaleski, backhander. Looking for Higgs. Higgs gets hit along the boards again. In the corner, Zaleski. Backhander looking for Higgs. He's got it. Near side. Haggerty through the crease. Looking for Higgs coming out front, but he was slowed up getting there by the D. Dartmouth clears. 12 to go in the third. Tied at 2 here in Game 2 of the ECAC first-round playoff matchup. Engineers lead the series 1-0. Neal in the neutral zone. Gets it up for La Liberté. Just got enough of it to put it in the corner. Bubella had it. Gets it to La Liberté face-off circle. Turn over to Dartmouth. They'll clear it. Dumped back in by Bradley. RPI has to touch up. Dartmouth with the puck. Bolt. Blue line. Up ahead for Neely. Moves across the blue line. Neely along the boards. Tried to dump it into the corner. Hits Neal instead in the gut. Neal then turns it over to McNally in the corner. McNally back to the point for Bolt. Winds up, shoots. Goes to Neal. Right back to Bolt. Bolt, no shot. Has to send it to Neely behind the net. He gets hit. Bradley comes in to take the puck for RPI. De La Liberté at the blue line. Red line. He sends it in, and RPI peels off for the change. Behind the net, Hartley backhands it to the near ice side. Along the near boards, Opperman had trouble playing it and turns it over to the Engineers. Loose to the side of the net, but the Engineers can't get a shot off. Tenorti over to the near side, past Fulton, into the near corner. Dartmouth clears it out of play, and there'll be a face-off in the Dartmouth zone.
More time that ticks by here in the third period, and we're sitting on 10:53 remaining in the third period. Means the next goal becomes all the more important, and realistically the entire series is going to hinge on who scores the next goal at this point. If Dartmouth gets it, they put themselves in a good spot to send it to Game 3. If RPI gets it, they put themselves in a good spot to win this game tonight.
Engineers won that face-off, but couldn't handle the puck along the half boards. And now Bly breaking down with Dempsey. Dempsey near side, looking for Bly, and the backhand pass hits an Engineer, and they break it up. RPI had dropped enough people back to stop that one. Puck in front of the Dartmouth bench, turned over 2 times as Bly had fallen down. Simpson falls down on top of him, and they're both late getting back to the play. Engineers counterattack. Fulton brings it in along far ice boards, has a poke checked away. Dartmouth, can they get the puck out of the zone? Yes, they'll get it out. And right now, hurt, it looks like, was Bly when he went into the boards. Dartmouth brings the puck into the zone. Secura got tied up with Karate in the face-off circle and lost control of the puck. Engineers send it in. Grant looks at that go over his head to the backboards. Engineers along the near half boards trying to get control of the puck. Dug out by Mosi. Whoa, skates right through his crease as he had Schrader behind him. Dartmouth brings it across the blue line. Misplayed by the Engineers. Beamish takes a shot. Deflects, goes right back to him. Center point shot saved by Diebold from Bolt. Far side. Pinkston takes a shot. Diebold makes a save, and it goes behind the net. Engineers in the near corner. Karate Can't move out of the zone. Goes behind the net with the puck. 9.5 to go here in the third. Tied at 2. Engineers find space near side. McGowan gets to it, sends it down ice, and they'll wave off icing. He was on the wrong side of the red line, but it got waved off. There were bodies back there. Dartmouth bolts, having a world of trouble in the corner because of Miller. Goes far side for Pinkston, who turns it over to Haggerty. Bad play. Haggerty keeps it at the half boards. Goes to the corner. Higgs has trouble playing it because it hit that door again in the corner where it bounces oddly. That costs the Engineers. Dartmouth out of the zone. Neely gets to the blue line. Tries to send it in on net. Goes towards Diebold. Loose to the side of the crease. Diebold couldn't cover this, but Dartmouth can't get a shot off. Engineers have it. Haggerty, neutral zone. Goes right to Simpson, trying to find Higgs. Simpson was in the way. Dartmouth crosses again. Neely has it. Neely to Simpson. Shot goes to the wide of the net. Goes to Higgs off to the side of the net. He's around the board. Stopped by Simpson at the half boards. Simpson sends it towards the net and gloved by Diebold and swung at. Neely swings and hits Diebold with his stick, and that's going to cause a little kerfuffle there.
RPI's team defense has gotten better by at least a factor of 10 since the first period, that's for sure. When Dartmouth does have the puck down in the RPI zone, they're not getting good looks. And like Seth Appert talked about at the beginning of the game, to keep the other team around the perimeter, you're doing everything you can to allow your defense to be successful and allow your goaltender to stop shots. Dartmouth needs to tighten that up a little bit. They're getting very sloppy in their own end.
Bly, who's back on the ice after he had trouble hitting the boards, will take this faceoff for Dartmouth. Goes to the far half boards. Won by the Engineers. Leonard sends it near side. LaBeouf. Blue line for Fulton. Puck jumps up in the air on a deflection. It goes to Bly. 8:15 to go here in the third. Tied at 2. Dartmouth dumps the puck in. Behind the net. Taken off the play was O'Brien. Good D by RPI. O'Brien didn't have a chance to play it. Puck's in the corner. Shearhorn had it, lost it. To the far side. O'Brien now feeds it towards Shearhorn. Shearhorn into the faceoff circle. Dartmouth trying to get a shot off. Shot saved by Diebold. Loose to the faceoff circle. Back to the blue line. Dartmouth near side for Simpson. Engineers get in front of everybody. No shots there. Simpson sends it off the side of the net. Tenorti has it along the far half boards after it goes off the boards. And it goes back out to the neutral zone, to the Dartmouth zone. Dartmouth switching up their personnel. Dumped in by Simpson. 7:35 to go here in the third. Tied at 2. Engineers have the puck. Dartmouth still finishing the change. Karate near side. Blue line. Red line. Karate dumps the puck into the far corner. Gets his own dump in back. Nice work. Out to the point. Far point for Bokenfor. Bokenfor goes to the half boards. Looses the puck to Secure. Who set backhander around the boards to the near ice side. Along the half boards, a collision allows Sakura to come in and take his own backhander. He backhands it in the neutral zone down to the RPI zone. Race there for the puck. Beamish. Sakura can't get there. The Engineers have it. Poked away. Nope. Goes right to Neal now. Neal into the neutral zone. Thought he was hooked there. Won't be a call. La Liberté has it. La Liberté, Neal looking for Rubella, who had his stick tied up with Sakura. No chance to take a shot there. No chance whatsoever. Loose goes into the slot, taken by Beamish now into the neutral zone. Mosi has it for Dartmouth. Gets the red line. Sends it in and peels off for a change. 6:40 to go, third period, tied at 2 here at the Fieldhouse. Engineers to the far right side, near side, behind their net now. Bradley, blue line, red line. Bradley dumps the puck in. Grant lets it go past the net. Far boards, Hartley for Dartmouth. Got a stick on it, couldn't clear it out. He'll backhand it around to the near ice side. Race to the puck. Dartmouth swings at it in the big green. Get it out. Neely coming down with McNally. Neely face-off circle. Neely out front, scores!
Perfect toe drag by Neely. He not only faked out the defender on the play, which I think was Bradley, he also got Diebold to commit. Picked his spot at the top of the net. Went in top shelf, and Dartmouth takes a 3-2 lead with 6:14 left in the third period. That's that big goal we were talking about just a couple of minutes ago. That could be a big one for this series, as it now swings things in Dartmouth's favor here in Game 2. Increases the likelihood of a Game 3 tomorrow night.
The whole complexion of this third period has changed. It was Dolan who went down early on that. He went down too early, and that allowed Neely room to take that shot. 3-2, Dartmouth leads here. A little over 6 to go in the third. RPI was having the better of this third period, but now they are behind. The pressure is on them. They need to get a tying goal, or it's Game 3 tomorrow. We need to tie and go, at least to force this to overtime. 2 to pick up a win in regulation. Puck's in the near corner of the Dartmouth zone. Engineers back to LaBeouf at the point. Sends the puck behind the net. McGowan has it far side to Leonard at the far point. Leonard at the blue line, near point, looking for LaBeouf. He's got it, sends it towards the net, and hit off from Wood. I heard that. And goes to the far right side, and Dartmouth's out of the zone. Bly tries to make a move. Can't get past Leonard, who made sure he stayed between Bly and the net. And the Engineers come away with the puck. Schrader crosses into the middle. Miller fans on the shot. The puck was a little bit beyond his stick. Dartmouth, can they get it out? No. Kept in. Nice work by McGowan to back check to the blue line and keep that puck in. Dartmouth now has it. 5:15 to go here in the third. 3-2, Dartmouth leads. Bolt crosses the red line, crosses the blue line, dumps the puck into the zone. Behind the net, Bokenfour clears it around the boards. It goes all the way down ice. No icing. Nope, yep, that's correct. They ruled Dartmouth could have played it, so no icing. Play continues here at the Fieldhouse. Bolton stops a clear-out attempt from Dartmouth. Hartley tried to clear it out. Bolton stopped it along the board. Sonorti has the puck in the near-ice corner. Under 5 to play in the third. 3-2 Dartmouth. Puck's underneath 2 of each team. Sakura gets it along the boards. Enough. Dartmouth is going to get it out of the zone. Beamish in the neutral zone. Gets to the blue line. Crosses over. Beamish feeds it back to Morrissey. Morrissey into the face-off circle. Bokenfour takes it away from Beamish. Beamish needs a change. Neely, who scored the last goal, can't keep it in the zone. Rodgick has it at the red line. Towards the net. Grant makes the save. Fulton's in the zone. RPI changing behind Fulton. Fulton's tying the puck up behind the net. Now taken by the big green out towards the middle. Engineers stop it from going out. Bubella stop it in the slot. To the far face-off circle. Liberté back out to the point for Dolan. Dolan's waiting. Finally has to move it. He was under pressure. Behind the net now for Fulton. And centering pass by Fulton goes right through the whole slot all the way down ice and stopped by Diebold. You are listening to WRPI Troy, Engineer Hockey, Houston Fieldhouse. Kurt Stutt, Tom Reel on the call for you. 3-2, Engineers trail. 3:50 to go here in the third. Neal's back in the offensive zone. Takes the puck behind the net. To the far ice side. Back to the point for Dolan. Winds up. Fakes a shot. Man went down in front of him. On the far ice side, the Engineers have it. Liberté centers through, and Bubella missed on the near side as the puck came through. Only got a little bit of it. Bubella has it along the boards. Far face-off circle. Shot. Misses the net from La Liberté over to the near ice side. Dartmouth's out of the zone. Opperman gets the red line, gets the blue line. His team has to change behind him. He needs to kill some time. 3:20 to go here, third period. Engineers trail by 1. RPI backed up in their own corner along the near half boards out towards the blue line. Neal gets it at the red line. Neal has to retreat. Now, Haggerty at the blue line near side. Haggerty gets enough of it to get it to Zaleski. He'll bring the puck behind the net. Zaleski turns, gets away from some pressure. Haggerty now has it. Face-off circle, backhander. Zaleski in the corner. Zaleski to Higgs. Higgs gets hit behind the net. Comes out with the puck. Higgs to the far side. Poke checked away. Gets it back again. Face-off circle. Back to Leonard, blue line. LaBeouf on the near side. His shot misses the net. Off the boards, all the way down into the neutral zone, and RPI goes back to their blue line. 2:35 to go here, third period. Engineers back in the zone. Haggerty lost the puck behind him, and Dartmouth could have an odd man break the other way. O'Brien into the zone. Beamish takes a shot, saved by Diebold, and he holds on.
With 2:28 left in the third period, Dartmouth leading this one 3-2. They're not really in any position to take chances defensively, and if you're Dartmouth, it would be a good time to collapse and depend on the guy that, once they got him here, since any team would start off with at least being able to make the playoffs on the road. But Charles Grant made this team good late. It's time for them to rely on him down the stretch to finish this off with 2:28 left.
Shots on goal, 39-21 in Dartmouth's favor. Face off to the left of Diebold. 2:28 to go here in period number 3. Engineers trail by 1. They've got the puck. Neutral zone, and Schrader has trouble playing it in the neutral zone, turns it over. Every second counts now for RPI. Dolan behind the net. Has to get away from some pressure. Face-off circle on the near side. RPI to the neutral zone, and they knock it ahead, but Mosey goes back to take it for Dartmouth. Mosey's in his own zone. Backhander, near side. Bolt. Under 2 to go in the third. Bolt to the red line. Backhands it down ice. Diebold slows it up for his D. Bokenfour on the near side. Gets it to LaBeouf. McGowan neutral zone. Crosses the blue line. McGowan hit off the play, and it gets to Schrader, though. Schrader with the puck into the corner. He's got 2 big green players with him. One falls down. Schrader in the face-off circle. Schrader moves to the middle. Can't get a shot off. Simpson's all over him. Doesn't let him move anywhere he wants to go. Puck goes into the far corner. Dartmouth with the puck. Underneath him. Nope, can't get it off. Or can't get it out of the zone. And RPI not taking the goaltender off just yet. I got two sentences confused right there. Now, Diebold goes to the bench. We're skating 6-on-5 for RPI, and it looks like RPI is getting a power play.
Yep, it's a cross-checking call. It's coming up on Eric Neely, who was the scorer of 2 goals tonight for Dartmouth thus far. He has the last one, which is currently standing as a potential game winner. 13:46 is 15th of the season from Grant Opperman and Josh Hartley. And now he's going to be taking a seat for the next minute 19. Unless the Engineers can score a goal, which would potentially send this one to overtime. The Engineers still have their timeout this late in the game. Not a common thing since Seth Appert likes to use it on icing calls. Haven't seen an awful lot of icing calls here tonight, though. So with 1:19 left, the Engineers going on to the power play. They choose to leave Scott Diebold out of the net as he was pulled from the net just before that penalty went down.
Well, that's an interesting call.
6-on-4, but it gives you a free opportunity. It gives Dartmouth free pot shots to the net if they want to clear it.
Correct. That's the deal right now. If Diebold stays off, Dartmouth has carte blanche to clear it down ice without any icing calls against them. So they can just start taking it wherever they are and swing it towards the RPI net and basically end the game at that point.
To me, it's not really much of a choice. You want to have an extra skater out there. I mean, if you turn the puck over, you're wasting time having to go down there and chase it anyway, and there's not much time left for RPI. So even if they do score, it pretty much just cinches it up. Whereas even Dartmouth just setting the puck down, which they could do anyway, would probably kill enough time for the Engineers to potentially not be able to pull it around. So we do see Scott Diebold staying on the bench. It'll be a 6-on-4 situation for the next 1:19 unless the Engineers can find the tying goal.
Empty net for RPI. RPI on their 5th power play of the game. They are 1 for 4. 2 for 10 in this series. Before this one starts, Zaleski feeds it back. It's tied up. Engineers get it to Haggerty at the point. Haggerty cross ice far side La Liberté. 6-on-4 advantage for RPI. Haggerty center point. Haggerty doesn't take the shot. Far side La Liberté. Now into the corner for Neal. Neal back to La Liberté. Near side Haggerty. Shot save. Grant loose out front. And Dartmouth gets to the puck. Clears it down ice. Engineers have to go back and get it. 55 seconds left in the period. Engineers trail by 1.
Engineers with 6 forwards out there on this power play.
Zaleski has it at his blue line. Dishes it off to his right. It deflects and goes back. Engineers have to touch up to Nordy. Lost it. And RPI was offsides. Dartmouth can't get it all the way down ice towards the net. 38 seconds left in the period. Neal in the neutral zone. Cross ice. Far side to Nordy. He drives the puck in. Around to the near ice side. Higgs along the boards. Dartmouth gets there and they'll clear it out of the zone. Just goes across the blue line. Zaleski has to go back and take it. 25 seconds left in the period. Neal at the red line. Neal dishes it off near side. Haggerty at the point. Haggerty. Cross ice. Zaleski far point. La Liberté, far face-off circle. Haggerty goes through his legs, and it goes all the way down ice. 12 seconds to go in the period. Mosi goes back looking for the puck. Haggerty's back there. They'll tie it up along the boards with 6 seconds to go. Out towards Neal. Neal on the far side. 2 seconds to go. 1, and that does it. Dartmouth wins 3-2. We have Sunday hockey coming to you tomorrow night.
There are some certain words to be being had there at the end between Mosey and Haggerty, who kind of meandered into the corner together after that last send down. Matt Neal is certainly not happy, but the Engineers will be forced to play on Sunday night as the Big Green keep their season alive with a 3-2 victory here over the Engineers. And you can't really chalk it all up to the early dominance of Dartmouth because the Engineers were tied in the third period. And at the end of the day, Dartmouth had a very good counterattack. They got the last goal. That's sometimes all it takes. You get that good bounce towards you. You get an odd man rush the other way. Eric Neely scored a beautiful goal for the Big Green to put them ahead. That's what desperate teams need, is sometimes getting that luck of the way the puck bounces towards you. Get that odd man rush. They got it done.
And that was really against the flow of play for much of the third period.
It was, and that's why you can't. And I can't stress enough that RPI did a good job actually weathering that storm early on because you knew Dartmouth was going to come off. They were going to come in here desperate, needing that victory. They knew they needed to win. RPI a little bit passive early on, but they got out of that without too much damage in the end. As you mentioned, Dartmouth gets a goal against the flow of play. It's hockey. It happens. Play on Sunday.
So you go back to the analysis on this one. What kind of game would this have been if RPI had come out better in the first period?
That's
the same exact discussion we had Friday.
You could make that argument as well, I suppose, that had they played better, there wouldn't be a storm to weather. But ultimately, when it comes down to brass tacks, this game was tied up late, and they needed to find a way to put the puck in the net. They certainly had the opportunities in the third. They didn't get that done.
Yes. Certainly in the third period, RPI did have the chances to make this their game. They certainly had the opportunity to do it, and sometimes the puck just doesn't go your way.
That's the way the game's played. You just
right.
Can't control that. All you can do is go out there and play your best game. And we can fairly say that for large swaths of the first part of this game, didn't happen for the Engineers. And yet they still found a way to get it
close.
At the end of the second period, the game was tied. They had their opportunities in the third with 2 power play chances. You can't ask for more than that. Unfortunately, didn't pan out.
And you can't really complain they got that power play at the very end. That's not a call you see very often in college hockey.
It's not, but given that Dartmouth had the lead and it was a penalty that took away an opportunity for the Engineers to score, you will actually see that get called. Prayed for some harrowing moments for Dartmouth late, but they were able to weather the storm. And talking about weathering the storm, it seems to be the flow of this game. RPI weathered the storm, then Dartmouth weathered the storm. They're the ones that get out of here.
That's really what it was. There was early Dartmouth, then later as the game went along, it was more RPI. And you're right, especially even in the second period, there were stretches where Dartmouth was just kind of hanging in there.
In the third period, they got very sloppy with the puck. And in fact, that it's hard to underscore just how much against the flow of play the Dartmouth goal was, but that's what will happen when you get good opportunity to counterattack, move quickly, and with numbers. At that point, it doesn't matter how the game's been playing. You have the advantage, and they pressed it very well there.
And let's face it, when you're that late in the third period in a playoff game, it's almost like you're in overtime. I mean, that goal is so huge at that point.
We were even talking about that. We're 2-2 with, about 5 minutes left to play. Next goal, big, because if that goal had gone to RPI, we could be talking right now about, well, where are they going to go next weekend? Instead, we're saying these teams come in tomorrow on even terms, and it's a one-game. Loser goes home.
Loser goes home, winner goes someplace. We'll try to figure that out, but we don't know. Nobody knows where anybody's going at this point. We'll get the scores later on.
All we know right now is that I believe, Yale came back to defeat Harvard 2-1, so they will advance. Whether they play at Quinnipiac or Cornell depends on results elsewhere. Start of the third period in Potsdam. Clarkson's a 4-0 lead on Princeton. That one looks like it's pretty secure that they'll be playing tomorrow night. Third period in Canton, St. Lawrence and Brown. The Saints have a 3-2 lead over the Bears, so that one could go either way, but certainly looking at least better for the home team that has the one-game lead to start with. So monitor that for you. We'll obviously get you caught up with that for the start of the game tomorrow, I suppose. We will be back here on Sunday.
Yes, we will be back. Okay, the scoring in today's game. There was a goal in the first period that contact with the goalie wiped out. So Dartmouth didn't get up 1-0 until later on, 7:13 into the first period. Nearly scoring from Opperman and Sakura on the power play made it 1-0 Dartmouth. It was that after one in the second. 8:43 in, Liberté scored from Neal to tie it at 1. But then not long after, at 9:51, Beamish scored for Dartmouth unassisted to make it 2-1 Big Green. And then 11:55 of the second, Haggerty scored from Neal and Zaleski on the power play to make it 2-2. That's the way it was until the third period. Do you happen to have a box score open on your computer?
I do.
Do you know what the time of the goal was in the third period?
13:46.
Thank you. At 13:46, Neely scored from, I'm getting my people confused. Neely scored from Opperman and Hartley. What would be the game-winning goal and the last lead in this game? Made it 3-2, and that's the way it would finish. RPI with the power play at the end when Neely went off with 1:19 left on a cross-checking call. They were not able to score on that, and it was a final tonight in Game 2. Dartmouth 3, RPI 2. RPI 1 for 5 on the man advantage. Dartmouth 1 for 3 on the man advantage. Grant in net for Dartmouth made 20 saves on 22 RPI shots. Diebold in net for RPI made 36 saves on 39 RPI shots. So let me give you that again. Dartmouth shots, pardon me.
Yeah.
So RPI was outshot 39-22 in today's game. That's pretty bad.
Well, it's kind of expected, but you're right. It is pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
It's almost a complete reversal of fortune from last night, to be certain.
RPI falls to 15-15-6 overall. They're back to 500. Dartmouth picks up their 9th win of the season. They're 9-18-4 after tonight's game. And as we've said before, these teams will meet tomorrow night in a winner-take-all Game 3 here at the Houston Fieldhouse. 7 o'clock, they drop the puck as the gentleman from Dartmouth Radio is leaving, knowing he's got to spend another night in the Capital District.
There are worse fates.
Yes, there are, because you know what's worse? Having to spend another night in the Dartmouth area, because I've had to do that.
Ouch. He's not even here to defend himself, Greg. Well, offensive and defensive engineers of this game. Offensively, I want to give a shout-out for this one to Matt Neal. 2 assists on the evening, both of them the primary assists. He really created the Engineers' first goal by taking a really opportunistic shot on net that was originally saved but picked up by Jacob Liberté for his 8th goal of the season. He kind of had eyes pretty much all night, and I really liked the line, that second line, especially Neal and La Liberté played very well all night long. Bubella, he had his issues during parts of the game, especially early on moving the puck,